you say you are fine, but actually you're suffering, this video is for you. I want to share with you what I have understood at now almost 55 years old of feelings, suffering, resentment, trauma, forgiveness, healing, awakening, loving, knowing, joy, vibrancy. Yeah, in one video. Oh my God, very exciting. It sounds like a lot, but in reality, we're talking about our capacity to love. When we are in the world of resentment, I call that the club of the cockroach. We cannot see anything. Everything is impossible. Psychologists labels us with all kind of mental health issues. Tell me about it. My dear mom suffered a lot. She went to all kinds of psychologists and psychiatrists, and she was labeled all kinds of things. She was there in that level of self-awareness that everything was against her. And that's how I was brought up. So obviously, I also was there at that, oh God, this club of the cockroach, just so sad. Everybody was against me. Nobody loved me. Everybody talked bad about me. Nothing was possible. Now I know that that place is a state of consciousness. That place is a state of consciousness, the state of consciousness of victimhood. In the state of consciousness of victimhood, we suffer. And you know what is very interesting is that even if you see somebody in that state of consciousness and you want to help them, you cannot. You really cannot take people out of the club of the cockroach. You can invite them to come out. You can show them how things could be outside this consciousness level. But you cannot move them out. Like the old saying, you can take horses to the water, but you will not be able, never in a million years, to make them drink. The one thing that moves anybody out of that consciousness of victimhood is to enter into the consciousness of responsibility, taking action. And this is where all the beautiful, empowering coaches have helped millions of people. Take responsibility, total ownership, go and do your life and take action. I can tell you, this is what I did. My God, instead of being in that world of my dear mom suffering, or this very depressive way of seeing life, I took that step and I said, hey, I can do it. I can do it. University, books, learning, exercise, weightlifting. I was very much into the I control, I do, I take action, and then reality happens. You have seen it. It works. Absolutely it works. And if you are in the state of victimhood, by all means, please start cleaning your room, start going to the gym, start running. Don't wait until having the best coach to tell you how to do it. Just start doing it. Start walking, start cleaning. Just, with a piece of paper, just start taking action. Taking action takes you out of the victimhood consciousness because you start discovering what is to have agency. You start to receive a little bit of light in your life. However, what is the dark side of this stage? This stage is still full of I'm not good enough. It's full of imposter syndrome because you are still, to a certain level, the victim. The imposter syndrome is there, and to heal the imposter syndrome, what people do, which is the title of this consciousness level, is to hustle and grind. These two stages of consciousness are very, very ego-based, fear-based. Because that's what the ego is all about, is the part of our psyche that is protecting us from them. What happens here is precisely what I was describing in last week's video, is that we take more action, and take more action, and take more action. And the more action we take, the least results, or the less quality results we will get. My God. Even the economists created that law, this called the law of diminishing returns, that you put more effort and you will get less results. This is why we have a massive burnout. It is called the burnout society, the burnout generation, that we take so much action that we end up having painkillers being part of our diet. It is absolutely insane. People don't sleep at their sleeping hours, no? When it's night, we're designed to be in connection with nature. We just don't do it. We eat when we're not hungry, we sleep when we're not sleepy. We do live life completely out of sync with nature. This is how this looks like. So of course you can just live all your life that way and it's over. But you hustle and grind. It generates money. But it's a life that I can really not recommend, because you end up, ill and lonely. And lonely even in company, because you may have friends, you may have family, but you're disconnected. Because the normal answer of how are you doing in that specific consciousness level is fine. A big smile, even if you can have all kinds of emotions stored in being repressed in this little box that you really don't want to see. You don't want to talk about of the anger that you have been repressing for years. Anger, of your husband, or for the socks in the wrong place, fear for, you name it. What is the way out of this? As responsibility and control, that are very masculine traits and very good masculine traits if used with a very good limit, I want to see it like the kitchen. If you put too much salt in a dish, it's just not good. When you put too much masculine, you need exactly. And this is what we do in this channel. What you need to walk out of the grind and hustle, spiritually, consciously, is to jump through, to take on the divine feminine qualities. And what is the divine feminine qualities is just exactly the opposite. Instead of taking control, is to release control. Whoa, that is super scary. To release control, what do you mean? That I don't control. That there is no plan, that there is no budget, that there is no measurements. How am I going to do that? The secret is to be present. You see, there is a big difference how I'm Mexican living in the Netherlands. how we cook in Mexico and how we cook in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, very, very, you know, masculine society, in the sense that you put 20 grams of this, you put it for 20 minutes, you see, it's 100 degrees, 200 degrees in the oven, very controlled. Mexicans will say you put a little bit of and you leave it for a while. How do you know that the food is cooked or that it has the right amount of salt? You are present with it. You become one. You make that food art. And you apply this with every single thing that you are doing. You are going to bake a cake. How many apples? You don't know. You look at them. You see what calls you. They are 10 or 20 or... But the difference is that you connect with the apples. My daughter was asking me recently, Mom, do you think the animals or the vegetables want to be eaten? And it really came out of my heart. Yes, because they are so excited to become part of you. So imagine that you are cooking with that attitude of communing with the apples, communing with the lettuce, with the tomatoes, communing with becoming one with what you are doing. There is this beautiful word in Dutch language, it's called bezieling. This is what we're talking about here. It's almost impossible to translate it. It's something like connecting with your soul to what you are doing. And what if you were using bezieling to create the budget of your company, to create the business plan of your new company, to create the, fill in the blank, the way you talk with your children, the way you make love to your husband, the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you... If we are all putting that intention of being present with life, we end up in this state of consciousness. This state of consciousness is called flow. And when we put this intention of being present, what you are going to find is that still some of the residual things that came from the previous stages will come. I tell you, when I will make the list of all the traumas that have happened in my childhood, oh my God, I just tick all of them, you know. Oh God, I childhood trauma, yes, totally, I was there. How did I heal it? A combination of, I don't know, or a combination, or really the reality is that I became present. Present in the moment, connected to the apples, connected to my children, connected with the Excel file, now connected with you through the YouTube channel. This moment of presence and letting the divine walk through you, that is what healed me. And this is what will heal you. Yes, so beautiful it was. When I was purposefully wanting to heal, I was guided. Read this book, go to this retreat, work with this psychologist, work with this shaman. I did so many things that worked for me. What is really beautiful of being in this state of flow is that you will be able to heal mental health issues. You will be able to heal physical issues. Oh my God, menopause. I have done this healing mostly in menopause. Before menopause, I was 20 kilos heavier than I am right now. And if you see my videos before, there are photos, there are videos in which here I have a big white bunch of hair. It is less. There are videos where you see my hair was just falling out. And what is that? This technology, that vitamin? No. It was to let the love of divine flowing through me and telling me what I needed to do, but most importantly, who I needed to be. In this state of flow, mental health, physical health, financial abundance, good relationships, deep relationships, relationships where you can answer really how you're doing. In this state of flow is when I met this wonderful friend of mine who really does this practice. When I ask her, how are you doing? She doesn't say, fine. She says, let me feel. How am I doing today? She tells me the truth. She is really afraid. She opens herself to be vulnerable to me because she is self-aware and because she trusts me. And I have made it a practice to do that with everybody I meet. It is so powerful. It's not just to build bridges with them, which is super valuable, but it's also to keep myself in this state of consciousness. The ultimate level of consciousness is, of course, oneness, enlightenment. And we have glimpses of that. I love in the time 2020, when we felt connected to everything, to all the world, and we could see that what happened here had an effect on that. For me, it was a great awakening, and I know that for many of you as well. We don't feel it all the time, but when you can feel it, enjoy this feeling of connection, of really being in the higher level of knowing that you are not you. You are a drop in the ocean of consciousness, that you are nobody without everybody else, that whatever you do actually has an effect in places that you have no idea. You are creating ripple effects wherever you are. So why not taking actions that are so heart-centered that will have impacts that you don't even need to know? Maybe in another place, maybe in another time, but you don't care because you are doing it out of your heart. You don't need the ego recognition that they will tell you, wow, you're so wonderful, or the ego recognition that they will give you so much money. You just do it because it's right. You just do it because it's based on love. So these are the 4 levels of consciousness. And I give them to you because they will help you to raise your own level of consciousness. But also because I am really excited about it, because as you grow in your level of consciousness, it will work like a hall of mirrors. You are going to elevate the vibration of the person in front of you and the other one who sees the other one, and it's just going to reverberate, ripples and ripples. We don't need to be millions. Some people are still in the first level of consciousness, in the victimhood, in the place of the cockroach. We love them. And if you are there, I hope that my love goes to you, that it is possible to get out of there. It is possible. So, if you want to assess yourself in which level of consciousness you are, I have created a download page that you can get, and you can measure yourself, not just once in your life, but measure yourself constantly so you can see how you are growing. My heart goes to you specifically if you're transitioning from the world of hustle to the world of flow. And I created a specific video on that, and I will link it here. I hope this will help you tremendously. Have a wonderful day, and sending you many, many blessings.